Hello there, everybody. We are live on TikTok and on YouTube. So I'm going to give you time to get those notifications in so you know where to go, which is here. I'm going to write down here in the chat box what we're going to do today, which is a clarification of today's card, Jupiter. I had a lot of questions on Instagram when I posted the card readings for the week and today's card especially. There was quite a few people that asked me about where is this card Jupiter coming from, how it is different from cards in the same position but from other decks that are named a different name and they present a different character. Now, I think it's a very interesting story because the Jupiter card is very particular to this specific tarot deck, which is the 1JJ Swiss right here. And it is a quite rare deck. It's not very easy to find right now. You need to dig, find old stocks from stores that are probably already closed, and so, or find it overseas. I think there's some stocks overseas, and but it's quite rare. You don't find it in stores for sure. Online, you can find it at ridiculous prices. So it's quite a rare find. So anyway, we were talking about Jupiter. So I'm going to give you a second to jump in because I've seen the notifications going out right now. And so today's card, Jupiter, today, Tuesday, wow. So we said, let's do a recap of yesterday. Yesterday, we had the Chariot, which was a card that was talking about, taking charge, be bold, take action, don't be afraid, and especially feel lucky. Pretty much everything you do is going to turn out into a success. Now, today's energy feeds from directly from the Chariot. In fact, the Arcanum number 5, which is Jupiter in this particular case, but it is also called the Pope in other pretty much kind of like the same age tarot decks, or the Hierophant in more modern ones, but the picture is very similar to the Pope. It is the same concept, the same energy, the same card essentially. It's just a different definition, and we're going to jump into why in a second. So the Arcanum number 5 is a very open, dynamic, fluid energy, very active. And so when we get the number 5, whether you call it the Pope, Hierophant, or Jupiter, you have some call to action that needs to happen. And it's also a card that indicates not just, a lot of times when people see the Pope or the Hierophant, they tend to think that it's a card for spiritual guidance. True, part of it is true. Or following structure, following rules, and things like that. That is also true. But the important thing with this card is that by following whatever rules it is, by taking action and following your spiritual guidance, you still are going to open up all those energies that are going to bring you happy results. So that's really what we are talking about here. And so I'm going to wait until exactly 5 minutes, and then we're going to jump on Jupiter and see what is up with this. In the meantime, a couple of things for housekeeping. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you need to do that because you are going to get notifications every time I go live. I may or may not say it on the other platform when that happens, so you want to get the notifications. Also, remember to subscribe to the mailing list because every month I send out special VIP perks for only the subscribers to the mailing list, so you want to be there. How you do that? Send me a message on my website, tarotofnewyork.com. Say hello, subscribe, or whatever you feel like it, or give me your email address in a DM, in a message here on TikTok or here on the chat or a message on YouTube. Anyway, the easiest way I think it is to just go on my website, terrorofnewyork.com, and click contact, send an empty email, something with subscribe or hello, and I will add you to the mailing list. So that way you can get all the good stuff that comes out only once a month. If you miss it, you miss it. There's no retakes. There's no 700 million emails coming out every month. There's only one, so you want to get that one. Okay, now we are at 5 minutes and something, so let's go and talk about Jupiter, guys. Who is this guy? So Arcanum number 5, we saw that we can call it the Hierophant, we can call him the Pope, kind of like the same energy. But Jupiter, I really like to see this, and that's why I chose this particular deck for today's card, because it is such Buddy, what happened there? We'll get to that in a second, okay? If you are on YouTube, you can also send comments and we'll talk a little bit. But now we are on Jupiter. So I chose this because, as opposed, for example, to the Pope, this is a card that, to me, in my practice, represents a warning, an invitation that is much stronger. It is a card that tells you, don't just sit around and wait for things to happen. You are in charge and you are going to create your own success. So as we said before, we're feeding from the energy of yesterday's a Chariot. Chariot, you are winning, you are getting things done, you're in charge of doing everything. Today, Jupiter reinforces that energy. So what happens here is that we are keeping up with all the things that we're doing with a lot of energy, putting everything in. We don't wait around for things to happen to us. That's the worst thing that you can do today. So that's why I was stressing this so much. And so I liked really here that we have this image of this guy, sitting around waiting. That's like the warning. Don't do that, because otherwise you're going to be a passive recipient of anything that happens in your life. And today is definitely not the day to do that, because things can go really wrong really quickly if you allow them to. So you need to be on top of it. So that's the really important thing about today. So in other decks, the Pope and the Hierophant, we have this sort of religious figure presented, and which is okay. It's nothing wrong with that, but how did they get, for example, in Switzerland? So the Jupiter card comes up from the Swiss tarot deck, the JJ Swiss tarot deck, which was made in Switzerland. And why did they come up with Jupiter instead of the Pope or another religious figure? Well, the story goes that, as you may know, there were a lot of incidents, a lot of wars, religious wars between Pope loyalists, Protestants of some nature or another, variety or another, and so we put them all in the Protestant category, but there were a lot of factions actually going on. So the people here didn't really want to get involved and get into trouble, because if they were presenting like a card such as the Pope, well, they didn't want to get taken from a Pope loyalist but living in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that would have been a big problem. Or put another religious figure, same problem, same issue. So what did I do? Well, let's go to Greek mythology, guys, or Roman mythology. That's the easiest way to do it. Kind of like the same concept, same energy, but we're going to do to the classics and nobody's going to come after us. So very smart way of resolving this particular situation. There's quite a few of these cards in this deck, so it's a very interesting deck. I find it very, very interesting, but it's very rare, very difficult to find. You can find it somewhere online, overseas, or in some old stocks from stores that closed down. But other than that, it can be really tricky to find this. Anyway, I wanted to show it to you because I think it's very important. It's a piece of history of the tarot, and it's definitely something that is good to know and to keep in mind. But also, so let's talk about this energy again. The 5, the Arcanum number 5, keep the energies going, keep the energies flowing, keep things happening, being in charge. Don't wait for things to happen to you. That's the most important thing. Take charge, be bold, keep being bold. Yesterday we had the Chariot with all that action and victory and feeling lucky. Today is a reinforcement. Things are not done. We still have more to do, so let's keep on doing it. So that was the concept that I wanted to get out. But also, I really wanted to come here for the few minutes that we have today to really talk about this particular deck that is very different from others and has historical reasons attached to it. And so I think it was very important. Also, I received questions about it. People didn't know where this was coming from. Was the reason behind it, so I was happy to come here and mention it and talk about it with you for a second. So one more time, you need to be subscribed to the YouTube channel because you can get all the notifications coming out in real time when I go live. The importance of coming to the live is that you can ask questions about what is coming up, the cards that we talk about. And you can ask other questions too. We try to get to them if we have time, but there's always an option for an interaction and for some communication. If you just wait for the video to go up on TikTok or on Instagram, well, once the video is out, it is what it is. So the real perks come from coming to the live. So, hey, Fashionista, I see you. Thank you for coming. You're coming like towards the end of the explanation, but we'll do a summary in a minute before we leave. So the importance of being subscribed to the YouTube channel is that you get those notifications right away, and you can just hop in, talk, ask questions, make comments in real time, and we can discuss the topic right away without waiting for a comment or a message. That can take some time to get an answer, but I try to answer everybody, but it can get a little bit busy. So the goal, the real thing is to come to the live. So all right, so and remember the mailing list, important there. We'll talk about that at the end as well. So today's card was Jupiter, Arcanum number 5. In other decks, the Pope or the Hierophant, same open energy. But the question that I got was why Jupiter? Where is that coming from? What deck it is? And so I wanted to come and show it to you. The one JJ Swiss Tarot deck from Switzerland. And we have this very particular, and it was basically they came out with a Jupiter card instead of the Pope because of religious wars and conflicts back in the day. So that was a smart way that they got around from being prosecuted and persecuted. I think it's brilliant, and so that's why one of the reasons why I like this deck very much, even though it's very rare and quite difficult to come about. So okay. So, buddy, tell me, why did you quit soccer? What happened there? We have just a minute, but I wanted to get to you because we talked about it last time. If you're still here, buddy. Maybe you're not. Okay, any questions about Jupiter, Arcanum number 5, the Pope, the Hierophant? Any question at all? All right, guys, this was the goal that I wanted to achieve with you. I think we did it. If you missed the live, no problem. You can watch the recording at a later time. That's fine. Remember to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Remember to be on TikTok as well. You get in the lives there too. If you go on Instagram, you can get the cards of the day every morning. And you see the same videos that I have on TikTok plus other things. But the thing with Instagram, you get the stories every morning with cards of the day and other things. And yeah, the mailing list goes out only once a month. You want to get on that list because I send out perks, special rates, special gifts, special information that goes only for the people on the mailing list. So, okay, I will see you all next time. It was a pleasure being with you. And See you next time.